Welcome back, folks. It's Sport Federation. You carry on talking about what's happening with sport in the Western Cape. And of course, as you know, it was the Cape Town Sport Awards this past Saturday. A number of athletes winning their accolades and going through the ranks. They, of course, now go on to the Provincial Sport Awards this coming weekend. There's, of course, the Eden Sports Awards up in Puckelsdorp in the George area. And, of course, the Overberg Sports Awards, which is happening in Hermanus. Right? This past weekend, we had a number of top athletes, including athletes from Western Cape Archery, shining for their federation. Back in studio with us is Alfredo Das Neves. Lobo Das Neves. Have I got that right, Alfredo?
Yes, that's good.
Yeah, right. So, massive achievements for you guys at the Sport Awards. Henk Brimmer, again, coming through the ranks. He was, of course, nominated previously for various world records. You guys must be thrilled.
Terribly thrilled, because it's a good example for the youngsters coming through, that they can see their local heroes performing at that level. And it encourages them that if these local guys can do it, so can we. And it's, and a guy like Henk, for example, he will never shy away from a question. He's always willing to assist an up-and-comer and share his enthusiasm and knowledge with him.
What is his speciality? I mean, you guys have got quite a few codes. And explain that to us, maybe the difference for folks who've never watched archery or don't get to see it often. You've got recurve and longbow and shortbow. So, there's
the disciplines and the types or associations. So you have World Archery, which is an international body. Then you've got IFA, which is also an international body, and they all have little differences inside their codes. So in World Archery, we cater for the compound bow, we cater for the recurve bow, and lately, well, not lately, more and more bare bows are coming through. And the bare bows are what we jokingly refer to as the stick and string brigade. It's as basic as you can get it, but it doesn't mean that you are any less serious about your craft. And it opens the door that if you don't have or don't want to spend a ton of money, you can still participate at a competitive level, and that's certainly what Henk does.
So, which is the one that we see in the Olympics?
That's recurve.
That's recurve.
That's recurve. It's 70 meters at a 122 centimeter target. That's what we see. Both women and men shoot at 70 meters, same equipment. We are struggling terribly to get the compounds into the Olympics, but for some other reason, it's just not coming right. Don't quite understand it. Frustrates the heck out of us. But that we do have World Cups where certainly people like the compounds can take place.
How often does South Africa compete in international events?
When they qualify.
Right.
Because there's a lot of international events available, and in fact the next international event qualifying period has already started as of the start of October. And you have to shoot a minimum score to be a particular score to be able to qualify to participate. So it's not about you having a bit of money in the bank and I'm going to fly out and go. You still have to apply through your national federation, and you still have to shoot a minimum score to be able to participate. As an example, when we had the Continental Championships in Tunisia, a whole bunch of people won the qualifying slots to go, but some of them didn't go because they didn't meet the minimum score criteria.
Right.
So that's the big thing, is just get the process correctly. The scores will follow, and participation will follow after that. Because if you shoot well enough, you can find the motivation to get someone to loosen their checkbooks a little bit.
How competitive is, I mean, you mentioned Tunisia now, I think that was part of the Africa Championships.
Yes.
How competitive are our Africa countries?
You go through cycles, it seems, because a lot of our African archers, they have a job. And so you get to a stage where you have to choose between your profession and your sport.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're not getting paid for it, it's very difficult to say no to a full-time job.
Yeah, yeah.
And that determines how you can get around and
Yeah.
be fully test against other people. So yes, we are competitive, but not as competitive as we'd like to be.
Yeah. So Henk Brummer went to the World Championships
Yes.
recently. How did you do?
Very well. Henk, besides having the most fun from anybody on stage, 2 world records. What more can you say about the man?
How do you break that world record? Is it a question of target or distance, or
It's about total scores. So
scores.
A certain amount of targets are set out, or particular targets are set out on a predetermined, according to a rule book and guideline. They set out in a particular way, according to certain standards, and then the verified scores from that get looked at, and it beats it or it doesn't beat it. And Henk just like, okay, I'll have fun, and oh yeah, I beat the score. Okay, great.
From a virtual point of view, is there cameras on the scoreboards and cameras on the athletes, or how do you? I mean, do you all have to shoot at the same time?
The only criteria is the distances, the target types has to be accredited manufacturers. There has to be an accredited judge there. Then the judge he or she governs how the day progresses. Correct time, only the required amount of hours. Is the correct equipment being used by the archers?
So is it live? Are you guys talking to each other more or less at the same time in a different?
No.
Yeah.
There is a live scoring system, but technically, cost-wise, it's too expensive to have it all hooked up at the same time. Bowtime had a live YouTube channel,
right.
but they cut the sound out so that we didn't transgress any copyright.
So you don't have
issues.
to start at the same time.
No, you just have to do it over those particular days. That's the weekend that it's got to happen in.
Okay.
And you can shoot it on either on 2 days, or you can shoot your 2 rounds on 1 day.
And did our athletes have to qualify to be able to participate? Is it
not at this stage. The recommendation is that you always do some accredited or World Archery sanctioned events.
Yeah.
So that you understand how to conduct yourself on the day, because the judge doesn't have the time to now go and instruct and coach every individual. I've got a whole bunch of people that I'm looking at. I can't just be focused on one person.
How are you guys doing from a judge's perspective? You're one of the top judges. Are there more judges coming through the ranks?
We're doing well in that regard. For the longest time, I was the only judge in the Western Cape.
Yeah.
Which can be tough. But we've got now 2 accredited provincial level judges as well. So we're 3 in the province at the moment, with a 4th one waiting for her test, to practical test to happen.
When will, how quickly after the event do the results come out? For example, now with the live bow tie.
We had bow time's results was available before I reached home.
Okay, right. How did we do?
Very well.
Yeah.
In the individuals, we had first places, 4 first places, 3rd place. In the team events, we had in the 3 of the 4 options available, we got first place.
Wow.
In the team. So we had barebow mixed team, compound mixed team, recurve mixed team. We got first place, so we're pretty chuffed with ourselves. I've got a quiet smile there.
Yep, fantastic stuff. Western Cape Archers again flying the flag.
Absolutely.
Alfredo, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Great chatting with you. We want to get some of those archers in studio with us and let them bring their equipment and people can see exactly what they're doing. But looking forward to catching you back.
Thank you very much.
There we go, folks. Western Cape Archery again flying the flag for the province and doing so well at the recent South African. There we go, folks. Western Cape Archery again flying the flag for the province and doing so well at the South African Championships, and we'll keep bringing you more information about how our archer is doing. And of course, congratulations to Henk Brummer for his nomination and his world records that he's recently achieved for himself, South Africa, and the province. We'll see you after the break. Don't go away.